we can discuss about transaction control, right? Which is again, so we'll discuss that with a proper working example. So let me just create a new mapping for transaction control. For this, we'll use the employees table. Okay. Now what I need to do is employee table has data related to different department IDs. And my use case is to divide that data across multiple targets, multiple flat files, right? So one thing could be, right, why can't we use router transformation and route the data as per the department ID, right? But then this particular transformation transaction control is used whenever I need to take that call dynamically. As in, today in my employee table, I may have like 4 department IDs. So on the basis of number of department IDs, I should be able to divide my data and have that data in a different targets, different flat files. So whenever it needs to be handled in dynamic way, right? That time we use the transaction control transformation. Okay, so if I just click on this, transaction control. Okay, now what we'll go do is, if I go to the transaction control tab, transaction control condition, if field value, if the field value changes, right? Whenever I want to, whenever I want to put that condition, right? If I want to do some advanced or parameterize, we can do that, right? But usually that will happen on a particular key. What is that field on which we need to take that call? So I'll say department ID. So what is this logic we are applying over here? If the field value changes, what is the field value? Department ID. If the department ID changes, then commit before. So we have these, right? Continue transaction, as in like do nothing, continue, right? Commit before, commit after, rollback before, rollback after, right? So commit before is whenever I encounter a change, right? Then as soon as I have it, right? If this then condition meets, right? Then I'll commit the data, right? I'll stop, I'll commit the data to that target, and then I'll proceed. Commit after means I have divided the data, right? But then commit will happen at the end of the execution, right? So that is how we have these two: commit after, commit before. Same goes for rollback, right? If I want to roll back the data, then I can use it at that moment or at the end, right? So that is how the difference is. And then else we say continue transaction, as in like as soon as long as my department ID is same, right? Then I'll keep on continuing the transaction, I'll keep on sending that data to same target, right? So I'll show you this in the table also, how it is going to happen, right? And then if I go to advanced, we just have the dressing levels, nothing much. Let me query this table, select star from. Okay, so now this is what my data sorted on the order ID. What I'm trying to do is, whenever so for every department ID I need to have a different flat file as a target. So now what will happen? I'll go to this, right? My department ID is 10. This is first ID. I'll pass it to, I'll process it, right? Then I'll go to second. Is my department ID changed? Yes, it is changed from 10 to 20. Then what will happen? I'll have this individual record. I'll have this single record in one particular flat file, and then that is it. And that is the only record I'm going to have in that flat file. And then I'll start processing data for next set of target, right? So what will happen? Second row, department ID 20 goes to another flow, another target. For row number 3, is my department ID changing? No, it is still 20. So it will continue the transaction, which is this. If value changes, then commit. If doesn't change, else continue transaction. Means for row number 3, the department ID is same. So it will continue. Row number 4, is my department ID changing? Yes. So 20 and so second and third 2020 will go to a particular target and my data will be committed. So row number 4 onwards, 30 30 continue 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 continue, right? So now let's do one thing, and then how I will be able to identify different files, right? So there is a property called dynamic file naming. So I'll go to target, and this file has to be created on the fly, right? We can't have target already created, because today I may have like 10 department IDs. Those many files needs to be generated on the fly, right? So I'll use the flat file connection. Then I'll select the object to be created at the runtime. Created, create new at runtime, and then here we are going to avail use dynamic flat file property. So what I'll do is, how I'll name my flat file as, I'll say emp, right? I will say employee department ID concatenation, sorry, emp, I would say this concatenation. I'll append the department ID. Okay. Then again concatenation dot csv. Validate. It is valid. So how my files will be created? Employee underscore 10 dot csv, employee underscore 20 dot csv, or I can say emp dptno. That makes more sense. Employee data with respect to department ID 10, 20, 30, right? That is how files will be created. Okay, so this is valid. Click OK. Let's save this mapping. It is valid. Okay, now let's run this. Okay, now it is running. Let's see how many files it would create. And for that, what I'll do is I'll just select count of distinct department ID from employees. Total 11. Okay, so I should expect total 11 files to be created. We have one null ID as well. Okay, so 10, 20 is 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and there is something with null also. Okay, let's see how it goes. it is completed. Total 107 rows processed. And then I'll go to my flat file target, FF location, and see this to this. Total, I selected how many? 12? 12. So the testing null was not coming, right? But then I do have total 12 records, including null. So those many files got created. Okay, so let's do some spot check to make sure that the data is really proper. For department ID 20, I should have two records, 201, 202, right? Let's see if I open 20 wala file. See, 201, 202, department ID 20. Okay, if I check 30, then I expect 6 rows, 1142, 118. 6 rows, 1142, 119 also we have. Is it I missed it? Oh yeah, I missed it. So total, yeah, these many records. 6 only, right? Yeah. And then let's see where we have null, and we will do spot check for that as well. Is null 178? There is no department ID. Let's see. 178. Perfect. So this is how we have divide the data dynamically in terms of multiple flat file targets.